Welcome to this Ole Geek. Today we're going to install a Ring doorbell and see how it's done. Hopefully right. Alright, let's begin with an unboxing of the doorbell and then we'll head outside and get this thing installed. There's probably not too much to the unboxing except trying to get it out of the box. Ooh, it looks fancy. Say hello to Ring. Wow. These are instructions, so we probably won't be reading those. So obviously we've got the Ring doorbell. And not sure what these are, so maybe I will have to read the instructions. We even have install tools. Let's just... Hey, that's not too bad. Probably a screwdriver that we're not going to use, but a properly sized drill bit and some screws and electrical parts. So looks like I will be reading the manual. And for some reason we have this. Not sure. There's a couple different versions of the Ring doorbell. This one is the middle version, and it's meant to hook up to the wiring of your doorbell. And we still have, wow, there are a lot of parts in here. Looks like this is just going to be another face cover for this. So our house is gray, so I'm not sure if we'll go with the black or the gray. So lots of parts here. I guess I am going to have to read the instructions. Looks like there's a couple videos on it. That we don't need. Don't need that. Ooh, protected by Ring. That will scare some people away. I know. Alright, so I'm going to look through these instructions, see what all these parts are for, and we will reconvene outside. We'll see you then. Site and got a little bit more information about what my install might be like. These two devices here are for elevating it if you can't get the Ring doorbell at the recommended height, or if it's too high so you can angle it down. And it's also for mounting with vinyl siding. So those are a couple things that don't pertain to me. As we saw in the unboxing, these are just the covers, so you can choose either one of those. And these are the security locks or screws that works with the special screwdriver that came with it. The big recommendation is this battery needs to be charged, and it takes a while. So one of the first things you should do is plug the battery in here and get this charged. The other parts are if you're mounting on masonry, they give you a drill bit, which is nice. If your leads from your doorbell are too short, they give you some extra ones. I don't need that. And these are the rest of the screws. Some of these I am going to use when I install it. This is a handy little thing here, which I've already used. You'll see in a moment. It's a level that you plug in here, and when you're mounting it, you can actually make sure that it's level, which is necessary for proper camera operation. And as I said before, this is the manual. On the back side here, these two screws are where we're going to attach the leads from the doorbell. There is a special part called a diode, and if you have a digital doorbell, which basically means if your doorbell plays a song or some kind of tune instead of just, a ding dong, then you're probably going to need this. I don't need it because I have a regular old doorbell, so that I can toss aside as well. There's a little bit more information on it here. I'm not sure where you even install that. So with that in mind, before we actually attach it to the front of the house, you need to set it up. So I'm going to get the app running on my phone here. So I'm already logged in, and I'm going to insert the battery. So I'm going to select doorbells. Scan the code on my device. Okay. So I think that's what this is. And this is going to create a location. I'm going to take this off the camera. For my install, I wanted it to replace where my existing doorbell was, so I did have to make some adjustments and even get handy with a wood chisel to make some room for it because of some of the trim I had on there. I'm also going to use the existing wires so that the Ring doorbell is constantly charged and hardwired. Alright, so we finally made it outside. The doorbell is off at the breaker. We've got this out. You can see we had to cut away some wood here in order to get this fit in. And the way that this is going to fit, it's going to fit nice and snug. And this is the level that the Ring people give you. You take that out when you're done. But in order to make sure it's level where you're going to mount it, there's 4 screws that we're going to place in here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And because I'm so close to the edge, I'm going to pre-drill them so that I don't split any wood. So we'll come back after I've attached the wires to the back and after I've pre-drilled and started screwing in the Ring doorbell. Okay, so I've got the Ring doorbell attached. We went and did a few extra things here because we get a lot of weather at the front of the house. So I added some caulking not only around the edges but also underneath to prevent any water from getting into the wood behind and causing any wood rot. In addition, we're very close to the edge, so as I said before, I I actually pre-drilled some holes here to keep the wood from splitting. So at this point, we've got this really well attached, and we're ready to get the battery back in it and give it a go. Here we have the finished Ring doorbell. Looks pretty good. We used the silver plate. Of course, I still have some painting to do. Let's take a look at the Ring app and some of the initial settings you're going to want to look at when setting this up. The first thing you're going to want to do is look at Smart Alerts. This is where you can turn on the people only mode and uses the Ring doorbell's cloud AI to analyze footage and only alert you when it involves human beings. I like to have this turned on. I believe it's eliminated some of my false positives, so I'm good with having this turned on. Next, we're going to take a look at the motion settings. With motion settings, you're going to tell Ring basically where the street is, if you do have one, and the different zones you want the Ring doorbell to be looking at. So going through the wizard, you're going to tell Ring if your door faces the street, and if it does, you're going to use this screen to determine basically where cars versus people are going to be. You can either use that min-max bar or actually drag on the picture as well to kind of change that. You really kind of have to play with this to tweak it, but this is probably going to help you the most in terms of eliminating false positives. Your mileage, though, is going to vary. Next, we're going to tell Ring what zones to have on or off. There are 3 zones, left, center, and right. I've turned my left zone off because I've got some noise, I think, happening from some of the branches and trees that I have over there. So mainly I've just got the center and the right. After that, you're going to go into motion verification, and this is another cloud AI feature of Ring that will actually eliminate more false positives. So I've got this turned on as well. Some of the cloud stuff will slow the reaction, but it also eliminates a lot of notifications that you can ignore. Next, let's take a look at the settings. We're really not going to go into each one of these, but this is where you can set up some defaults for the system. And let's take a look at event history next. With event history, this is really the Ring doorbell telling you everything that it's recognized, the times and the type of motion or people that it detected. When you click on one of these, you're actually going to be presented with a video of it. Now, I apologize for this being small. I didn't think that the camera would do this, but it did. So you can actually go in and take a look at all of these. And you also have an opportunity to go into the live view and look at this at any point in time. I actually find this pretty handy. You can go back and scrub back in time. Basically, you're looking at that same event history, but you're looking at it through the video lens. So that's kind of cool. You can scrub it all the way back and then start watching it and kind of catch up to where the live is. And this is actually very useful to trying to find out what's going on with your system. And then you can also just go to the live view, which is going to show you what's happening at your house. The next feature we'll take a look at is snoozing. When you're home and don't want to be bothered by notifications, you can actually snooze it from alerting you. The Ring doorbell will still work, but notifications will stop during the snooze period. This is our wrap-up of the Ring doorbell. I have been using it for about a month, and I can say that I can recommend it. It's not perfect. It does take a little tweaking, and I still get a lot of false positive notifications. You have motion detection and people detection, and I really get more motion detection than I would really like. But overall, I'm pretty happy
with the results. They do have a newer version out, which is the version 3 on Amazon, and it's supposed to improve some of the recognition and some of those false positives. So perhaps that's been fixed with the new version. There are 3 models available, and they're between $99 and $229, and they are commonly on sale. So just watch for some of the Amazon promotions. The one thing is that you really do need a subscription. After the 30-day trial, it stops recording, and really, other than answering the doorbell remotely, it's pretty useless. So you'll need to get the subscription. It's only $3 a month, so it's not too bad, but be prepared that once the trial runs out, you'll be prompted to get that subscription. Ring does make some cameras that will integrate with this, and there is a whole house subscription if you get something like that. I believe that's about $10 a month. But overall, I think just having the Ring doorbell on the front of the house is nice. It's a nice deterrent. There's a lot of convenience, especially with the Alexa integration. So I'm pretty happy with it, and I would recommend it.